Hey nerds, we're unpacking the news out of Marvel Studios, the full cast announcement for Avengers Doomsday. There are a lot of familiar faces, some very exciting new ones, and a few noticeable absences that have fans talking. We'll break it all down right now. Welcome back to the Nerd Social. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Colin.
So, it's always a big deal when Marvel drops an ensemble cast list, especially for something as pivotal as the next Avengers level event.
Avengers Doomsday, set for release in 2026, brings together heroes from across the MCU, the multiverse, and introduces even more from the Fox acquisition era. But not everyone made the cut.
While Marvel is, of course, keeping the plot tightly under wraps, Doomsday appears to revolve around the rise of Victor Von Doom as a multiversal threat.
Which means we're looking at a storyline that potentially unites Earth's mightiest heroes, the Fantastic Four, and some legacy mutants in a massive showdown. So let's start with who's confirmed to return.
Returning heroes, we have Chris Hemsworth as Thor Odin's son. We have Anthony Mackie as our new Captain America, Sam Wilson. Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes. We'll see him soon in the Thunderbolts. Paul Rudd is back as Ant-Man as well. We'll see Letitia Wright as Shuri, Black Panther. Florence Pugh, Elena Belova, or the new Black Widow. We'll also see her in the Thunderbolts coming up in a couple months. Tom Hiddleston is coming back as Loki, the master of the multiverse. Simu Liu finally will come back as Shang-Chi. Tanak Ueta as Namor. David Harbour, again from the Thunderbolts movie coming up, is coming back as Red Guardian. Winston Duke M'Baku will be back as well. Hannah John Kamen as Ghost will be back. Wyatt Russell as U.S. Agent. Both of these people are also going to be in the Thunderbolts. And from the recent Captain America movie, Danny Ramirez as Falcon, or Joaquin Torres.
And then we've got some major new additions. So there's some new faces that you see and some new roles. Robert Downey Jr. is returning, but this time as Dr. Doom. We also have Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards / Mr. Fantastic. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm / Invisible Woman. Eben Moss Bachrach as Ben Grimm, The Thing. And Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm / Human Torch. You'll all see them most likely in the Fantastic Four First Steps, which is coming out in late July. Robert Downey Jr. has been rumored to be in the movie probably near the end of Fantastic Four. Also, we have Louis Pullman as Sentry, and he is going to be in the Thunderbolts movie that's going to come out in a couple of months.
And there are some legacy X-Men characters coming too. So from the X-Men movies from the early 2000s, we have Patrick Stewart as Professor X, Ian McKellen as Magneto, James Marsden as Cyclops, Rebecca Romijn as Mystique, Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler, Kelsey Grammer as Beast, and Channing Tatum. We get him back as Gambit from his debut in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie last year.
There were 27 characters that they presented in that 5-hour Marvel special. Okay, so here's where things get a little weird. For all the characters we're getting, some major MCU names are MIA. Now we're gonna figure out who's missing from the cast list, so let's break it down.
Number one, we're missing Doctor Strange, or Benedict Cumberbatch. Given how much he's been central to the multiversal storyline, his movie actually had the word multiverse in it. His absence does raise some eyebrows. I don't know, maybe he's off fixing that riff that he created and he'll show up in the next movie, Avengers Secret Wars.
Number two, we have Spider-Man, who is Tom Holland. This is actually a big one. I think that Spidey's not being on the list, that's a huge shocker. Is this to do with Sony having the rights and things like that? We're not really sure. Is it going to be also maybe a surprise cameo later on? But again, rumor has it that there is going to be a Spider-Man movie after Doomsday and before Secret Wars, so he's probably preoccupied. And also he is filming The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan, so he's probably in a lot of movies and going back and forth.
Yeah. We're also missing Mark Ruffalo, or Hulk, or Smart Hulk. No signs of Bruce Banner or Smart Hulk. Maybe it's a contract thing. Maybe they're saving him for Secret Wars. Maybe, or from all these characters characters in this film animating the Hulk as well will just balloon the budget over $400 million, so who knows.
Number 4, we have Scarlet Witch, who is portrayed by Elizabeth Olsen. We saw at the end of Multiversal Madness that she apparently died. We don't really know. There has been some inklings we saw from Agatha all along that there might be some things that might be happening with the return of Scarlet Witch because of Billy, but we're not really sure about that. And we would really want to see, fans I think would want to see Wanda's redemption arc, but there's also rumors that are out there about how she is probably an old flame of Doctor Doom, so we don't really know about that at this point.
Yeah. And speaking of OP characters, we're also missing Captain Marvel, so maybe that's why Scarlet Witch or Captain Marvel isn't there, because they maybe be able to end the fight with Doom too quickly. It's definitely a heavy hitter. Could be due to the narrative pivoting after the Marvels failed. I don't think they're going to give up on this character. However, given the way that movie ended, maybe we'll see Monica Rambeau, even though she's not in the official list, because we know that Grammer's Beast will show up in this movie.
So, number 6, we have She-Hulk, Moon Knight, Daredevil, Ms. Marvel, and Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. So all but the OG Hawkeye or TV-based next-gen heroes, they're all missing. There's a common thread of them being all on Disney Plus shows, some of them very successful, some of them not so successful. Some of them have backlash from fans, some of them don't. So we're not really sure as to how they are going to be incorporated into this big movie, or whether or not they are going to be incorporated. My speculation is that they might want to keep this at the street level, so you might see them in season 2 of Daredevil. We're not really sure how they're going to really address these Disney Plus characters.
Yeah. So we're also missing Wasp, which I guess isn't too much of a surprise, but Ant-Man made the cut, and also Ghosts made the cut from the movie where she debuted as a hero.
Yep. And for number 8, we have Star-Lord and the Guardians of the Galaxy. We remember from Volume 3 that Star-Lord was last seen in Missouri with his grandfather reunited, and also that the new Guardians are now led by Rocket Raccoon. We're not sure how they're going to be incorporated. We also know that Gamora is with the Ravagers as well. Whether they were a big part of both Infinity War and Endgame, but we're not sure how they're going to come back into the fold, or they're just going to sideline them in these 2 Avengers movies.
Yeah, we have the Eternals. So since 2021, we haven't really heard mention of them except for in a What If episode with Kango, Agatha, and Tiamat. And then we heard, of course, of Tiamat in Captain America Brave New World just last month. If you recall, some of these characters died off in that movie. Some were captured by Arishem the Judge, and others were tasked with the rescue. And Star Fox, Harry Styles, and Pip were going to help them with that. But I don't know if they're going to completely drop it. Who knows? If you saw Captain America Brave New World, they pulled something from 10 years ago. So maybe they'll use these people at some point. But right now, who knows if they show up in this movie or they show up in Secret Wars.
And number 10, we have Deadpool and Wolverine. So they really have merged the X-Men and MCU. This was the movie from last year, but there's no Ryan Reynolds or Hugh Jackman, which is strange to me, but I do believe that they put that comic book cover of the Secret Wars in the Deadpool Wolverine movie. So they probably will appear instead in Secret Wars. So we're probably not going to see them in Doomsday, but you never know.
Yeah, we were saying before that this movie is probably expensive enough without adding these 2 actors to it. So yeah.
And the cast looks stacked. I'm pretty excited about all the different characters, especially the X-Men coming back, how they're going to incorporate them. There's some speculation online that it's going to be Avengers versus X-Men, but I'm not sure how it's going to transpire because a lot of the old X-Men characters are on the older side, and whether or not they're going to survive is one big question that I have and curious about as well.
Yeah, and then of course we have Robert Downey Jr. as Doom. That's wild, and it's never really set both with me, but we'll see how they execute it. And seeing the Fantastic Four, and like you said, the X-Men fully integrated, who will probably mostly likely die because, as we were talking about offline before we started recording, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are in their 80s. It's not like they're gonna save them for another team up 10 years from now. Hopefully they let the actors rest, as opposed to, I'm not looking forward to their characters being killed off, but they should be able to enjoy the rest of their lives having to be pulled back into this. I'm actually thinking that other MCU characters are gonna not make it out as well. If all those Thunderbolts are coming into this movie, I'm not sure all of them are gonna make it out.
And also, there's a lot of omissions with the OG Avengers. I think that they're probably going to be, I speculate that there's going to be some twist with that as well. Having Robert Downey Jr. as the main villain now, there's probably going to be some major twist that I'm talking about Chris Evans, I'm talking about Scarlett Johansson, maybe even Jeremy Renner, I don't know, or Mark Ruffalo, who knows, that they're just leaving them out to play evil versions.
I mean, they're definitely telling us who the cast is. There's a lot of speculation, but also doesn't leave any room for surprises. So maybe they pop up. I will say that I think it was either a House of M or it was a Doom story, Thor was his enforcer. So maybe he'll brainwash Thor, not just Thor, like Thor from a bunch of worlds. He had a Thor core. Maybe instead of a Thor core, he'll just have a bunch of Avengers, like you said, some of the OGs from his world under mind control or whatever. Or just because the speculation that this is going to be a variant of Tony Stark, maybe they're all bad. I don't know. We'll see. We want to hear what you think of the Avengers Doomsday cast. Share your thoughts in the comments below.
So are you hyped about it, or do you feel very underwhelmed about the casting?
So who are you most excited to see, and who do you think is missing that has to show up later? If you enjoyed this breakdown and conversation, don't forget to like and share. It helps our channel grow. And for more in-depth analysis of film and TV, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon for alerts. See you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.